team here.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. How are we? How's it going, everyone? Very, very excited. Today is a super, super hot day here in Barcelona. It's 37, 35, over 100 Fahrenheit now. It's super, super hot. And I have a fan that keeps me a little bit cooler here in the studio. Well, I'm start watching as well the new the Campionato with the with the Juventus. No, with today we have Roma and Atalanta. They're playing at 6:30, so we're gonna keep an eye as well on those matches. In the meantime, I can see Valentin, Ranger, and Marianne. How are you guys? That's the Aka. That's the introduction. It was a terrible banter area, but what can you do? So I'm sorry if I'm not wearing anything too much related to AC Milan, but because it's very, very, very hot, and it's mid-August here, and it's super warm. How are you guys? First of all, is that hot as well wherever you are in this planet? Because I have a person as a guest today that is coming from a place that is very, very hot, and I'm curious to know how hot is it in Dubai. Football Drone, how hot is it?
Oh, horrendously hot. Horrendously hot. You thought Barcelona is hot. Dude, you have to spend... Okay, don't spend a summer in Dubai. It's horrendously hot. Like, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, I have some friends who are like, we're coming here. I'm like, please don't. You cannot even go outside at all. Like, Dubai is an air-conditioned city in summer. It's just interiors. That's it.
How hot is it?
You know, when you check the temperature, it says it's 43 degrees Celsius, but feels like, you know that thing that feels like? Do you look at that, or you don't have that?
Yeah. On the.
It's like it feels like 50. You know, like it actually says, because of the humidity, it feels like 50. So yeah.
No, here it's.
By the way, you said I'm sorry, I'm not wearing anything. You know what you should wear? Since you put that haka,
yes, yeah.
This is straight from the banter era. I think that season as well. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
They're the same terrible jersey, man.
By the way, I loved it. By the way, it's one of my favorite ones, just because of the fitting. Like it has a good fitting. Like it fits on the shoulders well. It fits on the biceps well. It fits on like the neck and everything. Like it's a good fit.
It's a good fit. I don't know. To me, it just remind me really, really the banter area. Really, really the worst time of our beloved team so far. So
yeah, that's the Pippo Inzaghi season. It is the worst season, by the way. The 10th place.
What was it? 2013, 14? What was it?
14, 15. The Jeremy Menez, back heel against Parma.
Oh, I see it. I remember that.
Yeah, that one.
Actually, you both might like the Great Britain. We have a lot of rain, but today sunny and quite nice. There you go. Marianne,
I love it sunny, by the way. I love by the way, hey guys, to the chat, thank you for all your comments. By the way, I
So,
would love rain. I love rain. Like, I know
You
you grew
love
up in
rain?
Milano, you hate rain. I love rain. Like, when it's raining, I'm happy.
Well, I believe you.
I love it.
Honestly, when I was living up there in Manchester, I remember that every day was raining. So not every day, but most of the day was raining. So whenever the sunshine was out, we were like, "Oh my god, now it's so nice! It's sunny." But when you live like in a hot place, I feel like the rain. It's like, wow, finally there is a little bit of rain. It's finally it's cooling down everything. It's nice, but yeah, I believe in the desert. Whenever you see it, the rain, you're gonna love it. Of course, I believe you. And yeah. So here we
By
have
the way,
a question already.
I think you misspelled my name on the title.
On the give me a second. That's a good idea.
Oh,
So we're gonna change it.
I'm like, who is this football draw guy?
Football. Oh, okay. Give me a second. Let me change. I can see that now. So you can. You're right, bro. Sorry. Who is this
It's
guy?
been a while since. It's been a while since I've come here. By the way, like I see some names that maybe either
haven't
change
seen
their
it
names
yet?
or maybe they're people that I haven't met. So for those who I haven't met yet, I'm Football Drawn. It's been a while
Tell
since
everyone.
I came here. We normally talk usually about shit, but sometimes football. And yeah, we usually meet maybe once a month, once every 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, love to meet you all. And
Absolutely. Yeah. So
you can call me Football Drawn. I don't have a real name.
Football Drawn. Where are you? Hang on a second. Yeah. Boom. Look how well organized am I. Eh? Look at that. Do some commercial.
Yeah, that's me. So I run a football channel. I run a football channel. I tell stories about just weird stories in football. Like, and I tell it through cartoons and animations. Like when you go down a bit on.
What's this say? Like this? Yeah.
No, go down.
Down,
like scroll down. Yeah, because I feel like
the beautiful story of Niklas Fulkrig.
Oh yeah. So and I tell football stories and I tell them using drawing, hence the name Football Drawn. So feel free to check it out. Who knows? Maybe you'll like it, maybe you'll hate it. Worst case scenario is that maybe we meet and who knows, we'll become friends.
Look at that. Do you know these two guys?
Oh, that was a different room.
That was a different room as well. Milan Novara. That's good. So yeah, absolutely. Check it out. Check out Football Drawn video. And here is the question. Look at this. I'm watching here, and I see, and I put some pressure over you, and I say 5 months ago. So here is the question. When the next one is coming out?
I'm writing 3 videos at the same time. So whichever one comes out first, one is about Manchester City, one is about Neymar.
Yeah.
And it depends on which one comes faster. Because there's a lot of drawings and animations that goes through. And it takes like maybe 1 week or 2 weeks just to get things.
It's take a while, I know.
Yeah. So for me, I can't do like current events because if I do current events, by the time it's finished, the news is old. So it's usually like stories. Like if you go down, it's like that treble winning side in Manchester United, like what happened to them, or recalling our banter era, or why did PSG fail, or stuff like this. How did Mino Raiola made his money? I'm just reading my thumbnail here. Is Italian football dead?
No, also what I noticed as well. I notice also that if you try, let's say, if you try with the video to follow literally the trend, what's happening if it's a big news, what's happening is other creator already made the video, and you pretty much have like the competition, it's super hard. And at the end of the day, how many video people are gonna watch about a topic? Like 1, 2 maybe, but they're not gonna check all the videos. So maybe it's better, as you're just saying now, like do stories pretty much. Yeah, look at the Ballon d'Or to golden trash can. There you go. All right.
Yeah,
well,
remember Rivaldo?
Oh, wow.
Arrivaldo, that newspaper
The Gazzetta,
title. Remember
Arrivaldo.
that? Arrivaldo. Oh.
Arrivaldo. I don't know if I have it here.
It should be, yeah.
Arrivaldo.
Yeah, Arrivaldo, yeah.
Arrivaldo, remember that.
Man, we're old. We're getting old.
This was really old. Yeah. But so what do you think about this new Milan? Hang on a second. We need to catch up on some stuff first of all.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We need to catch up on some stuff before we even start. So Campionato is over. Okay. Campionato is finished. Let me remove this in the meantime. There you go. Boom. Campionato is finished. Okay. Milan finished 5th position. Juventus, they removed 10 points from Juventus. Milan is able to finish 4th in Serie A, able to go in Champions League. Play the last match in San Siro against Verona. Double Leao, good goal. 3-1 for the ragazzi, for the rossoneri. At the end of the season, we have Ibrahimovic coming out, clapping the hands, crying. And then what's happened, Football Drone, from there on? Tell me what's happened afterwards, because
then you get you get rumors that Maldini is meeting with Cardinale, and this meeting is possibly about transfers. And we're like, okay, nice. He's gonna ask for a raise in transfer budget. How amazing!
How amazing! We were just waiting for that. We were just waiting.
And then you're gonna see, and then you're seeing all these rumors like he got fired. And then first you don't believe it, but then you start seeing like legit journalists, talking about this, like Daniel Longo or people of like high caliber. Like this is not like Calcio Mercato. Like this, like these are like good journalists, like reliable journalists that are talking about it. And there's nothing so far. Like there's no announcement from either Cardinale nor the club about this. And then you get the confirmation from none other than Fabrizio Romano. And we're like, oh shit, this is not just a legend. This is like the symbol of this project. This is the symbol of this project. And what's going to happen to us? Like,
what was your first reaction when you had the confirmation that Maldini was fired? What did you think? What came out in your mind? What did you? I don't know. How did you react? Did you check one source? Did you check 2 sources? Did you? What was your reaction?
Well, the thing is, the sources came to me. To be honest, like all the news came to me, and all these sources, they have like their own, like, okay, this is from Fabrizio Romano, this is from Daniel Longo, this is from Di Marzio, this is from Pellegatti, this is like people that you trust, right? And I'm like, oh no. The difference between an amazing project and banter era is like 2 days. Like in 2 days, it went from this to that. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh shit. Like, honestly, I fell out of love with football. Like when it was that shock. I fell out of love. Like,
you sent me the message. You were saying, oh, today I'm supposed to go to run. And I usually wear my Banter Area AC Milan jersey, but I didn't wear it because, you know what? I don't feel like.
Yeah, like I feel like everything that I fell in love with this club, like those things are no longer there. Like those, like it's just a color and a badge. And a badge, I was sure they're gonna change it. They're gonna make it more corporate. Like that's what I was thinking. So and then the new, we have a saying here in Dubai where it's like the ink was not dry yet, and then we hear about Tonali. And I'm like, that's it. These guys, they just want money. They just want to run it like Southampton. Like that's it. Just when you think you're getting somewhere, everything is crashing down. We're chasing guys like Arnautovic, which, funny enough, Inter fans used to make fun of me for that. Now it's gone to Inter.
Yeah.
How time
yeah,
the world works, I guess. So I was like, I was numb at that point. Like there was probably 2 weeks that I didn't check Sempre Milan. Sempre Milan is the source, where I go for Milan. Milan news.
As Valentin is mentioning, I still don't agree with Maldini firing, but I think Jerry did it because Maldini would never allow Tonali to be sold. This is a very good comment, because at the moment when something like this happens, you don't understand. You feel like you've been stripped from your history, from the project, from everything that you have, and then finally, when you have and then with time. You understand that probably, as Valentin is saying, it's right. Probably it is right. Probably Maldini itself was not able to sell. He was not. He did. Maybe they didn't know how to sell, how to increase the money, and how to restructure the team. That's all I can say.
And then it gets worse. We're chasing this guy Thuram. And
Inter take it, Frattesi.
Yeah, but we've been chasing him for like so many weeks, and then Inter's like, you know what? It's ours.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sad that Inter bought him. I was more worried that the management, it felt from outside looking in that the management was putting all their eggs into this free transfer.
See?
And it didn't work. So I was more worried about the incompetence of, the new management.
See.
And then slowly you hear about, Ruben Loftus-Cheek signed for us. And then slowly Pulisic signed for us. And then slowly Reinders is there. Reinders is a player that I really liked from Eredivisie. Like sometimes you watch a player and you're like, I wish Milan buys this guy. That's how I was feeling when I was watching Reinders at the time. I was like, man, this guy, if only we could get this guy. And boom, we got him.
You got it.
The news came out. It's like, we're chasing him. He's holding for us. It seems like we cannot agree on a price. Eventually we do. I'm like, fantastic. I think this management, they might be doing something, but they're also chasing other things. So slowly I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trust this new direction. I'm going to trust them. And it feels like the management is playing the quantity game rather than the quality. Well, there is quality, but we needed quantity. We needed depth. We cannot have Messias and Salamakers on the right wing.
Well, on the right wing this year you have Chukwueze and Pulisic and Romero potentially. So
you can put any of them and be relatively okay. Okay. But
because you had Rebic as well, by the way.
By the way, as Marian says here, Thuram really looked good. I was watching last night him against Monza. He was really good.
He was really good.
He was really good. Like Inter, they had a coup. Really, they had a coup. So
we will see, because at the end of
that
the day,
guy worries me. Yeah.
Really? At the end of the day, I remember that.
Like he is fast. He's physical and he's fast. Like he gave Monza all kinds of problems. But then I think that's the system that he thrives in. Like him next to another striker, like I think he could do some damage. I'm not saying like Lukaku that first 2 seasons, but
Yeah.
this guy looks good.
Well, so what do you think it's what? So do you think who do you think it's coming out better from this mercato among Milan, Inter, Napoli, and the Italian teams? Who was the most impressive to you? Who do you think was?
I feel like I wouldn't say impressive, but Juve seems like the least changed of all of them, right?
Yep.
And they don't have
I
Europe.
agree.
Like, okay,
Exactly.
you let Bonucci go, but it feels like that was almost written a year ago, 2 years ago. Like it was. I disagree with that decision. Like not this decision, but the way they did it. It's like the way you fire the guy. The way that they let Bonucci out through the back door is like kind of like how we did with Maldini. It's like I just didn't like the treatment for a legend of your club.
For Bonucci. Well, Bonucci. Let me talk very freely. It's a clown because he's always been a Juve fan of Juve here. Then the first occasion that he got to get more money, he went to Milan. I don't know if you recall it.
Yeah.
And then after 1 year or so, he went back to Juve. So I don't know if it's really if I'm a Juve fan, I will consider Bonucci a legend, a club of the legend. You know, I don't know. That's my.
Yeah, but you know, it's like there are ways of doing this. You know, like when you fire an employee, like there's a respectable way. You know, I don't think he's even mentioned anywhere. It's like Bonucci, we thank you. You know, you spent 10 years with us, or you know, stuff like this. You know, you were part of. I think 8 league titles. He missed one when he was with us. So.
They pretty much they didn't buy anybody. If I remember where they got. Well, they got yes, Locatelli, Keane, Milik, and I don't know who these guys is, but they are all coming back. Probably they were in loan and they bought it this year, but they just got Weah, which is a question mark. Of course, you don't know how it's gonna be Weah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but what they're doing is. They're putting Weah on the right wing just so that they put Chiesa on top, like on the front two, next to Vlahovic, and that's a dangerous combination for a team that doesn't have Europe. I feel like Juve could either do really well or mess it up, like massively mess it up. Honestly, let's face it, this season also they don't have the distraction of that negative 15. Like they don't have the distraction of that drama. I feel like Juve is the team I would worry the most about. And honestly, really? Inter also looked really good last night. I'm not gonna lie.
Very honest with you, I'm not scared of Juventus. I think they are psychologically under a train, and as long as they're gonna keep the Allegri guy on as a coach, I don't feel like they didn't improve since last year. I don't think they. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because anyway they have a very good and solid team, but I don't feel like it's these all players that they came back. I don't feel like they psychologically, because we know that to win a Campionato you need consistency first of all, but also you really want to have it, and I don't feel like Juve under this management can really reach it. I will be actually very surprised if Juve can hit.
Yeah, I'd be surprised too.
If he can get on
I'd
the
be
top
surprised.
3,
I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. You know, like they could do either top 2 or 3 or finish 7th, you know, like the Pippo Inzaghi season that we had.
I don't know. Well, this is only. But
I would say Juve is the least of the changes, and that can be good.
Okay.
Napoli lost 2 very key, important pieces. Exactly. 3, I would say, with I struggle with his name, the sporting director. And but there's still enough in there up front to do real damage.
Yeah. Because yesterday I watched the match actually, Napoli, Frosinone Napoli. That Osimhen guy, oof.
Yeah.
That Osimhen, it's
the kind
really
of question
good.
it's a kind of question that, you know, who will finish top 4? If you ask it to 10 guys, you're gonna get 10 different answers. Like, that's how close they are. Not close,
Yeah,
I would say that's how many question marks each team has. You know, like, there's no
but
perfect
also,
runaway.
this is the things about the Serie A in the last 4 years. You know, we had 4 different winners, so of course it can be an Inter, because last year they end up really, really well beating Milan. So now every person think, oh, Inter is better than Milan because last year they beat us in Champions League. They went to the final. If they were smarter, they would probably bring the Manchester City to extra time. They're good, they're solid, but they also forget about the first half of Inter Campionato last year, that they were struggling a lot. I remember I did a quick video with Uncle Sharma when it was in November, December, and we were already talking about, is Inzaghi's going to stay or they're going to fire him. So probably it's also their, how to say, their training, right? Their physicality that was they were not really ready on the first half, and then on the second half they got perfect. They didn't miss a single match. They were beating up every single Serie A team that they were facing. So Inter, we will see what's going to happen. Napoli as well. I don't see big changes here, because actually they got that guy, the center back, Nathan, which is apparently it's very, very, very good. They got who else they got? They confirm Raspadori. They got Chedira, which is very, very good. He's a Moroccan guy, but he went on loan to Frosinone. And they got this guy here. I don't know who is it. Cajuste? Come se dice? No, I don't know. I don't know about this guy.
Another name that we have to practice to memorize. I mean, Kvara was hard enough.
Yeah.
Another name that we have to memorize.
They sold Kim.
What happened to when they were signing names like Alan, or, you know, like simple names?
Well, now they have Nathan. They don't have Alan, they have Nathan, so it's similar.
Oh yeah, simple enough.
So I think, so if you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, who do you think is gonna? How do you think in May the Campionato is gonna be looks like?
I would say, and I wish I'm wrong, between Inter or Napoli, I would say Inter.
Okay.
Napoli, Milan. Does Atalanta have Europe?
Atalanta is Europe. There are 2 teams that I want to watch. Exactly, they were.
I would put Atalanta because I would put Atalanta, but I wouldn't be surprised if Juve just trashes everything that I said and finish second. You know, like you know, like when you talk about 4 things and then there's the 5th thing which is like, but what about me? You know, that's Juve. Like, it can come up and mess up everything that we talked about.
I was just watching a little bit business from Atalanta. Wow, Atalanta, it's a solid reality that is constantly in our Campionato since years. And, well, they know how to do business. Look at that. They have a plus 89 million from this transfer. They sold this guy, which is an incredible, fantastic player, which is how you call it, Højlund, which is surely it's a fantastic, strong player, but he's 20 years old, and you can buy for 75 million. Are you kidding me? They sold it they are genius of Mercato. Yeah. Let me tell you, genius Mercato. They sold it for 75. Boga at 18 million, which is, of course, it's good, but it's already good money. Demiral, of course, at 20 millions. Malinowski, this guy's good, yeah. but they also bought from this year. I think Atalanta is going to be good because I'm very curious to see, because they have Muriel, Scamacca, Zapata, this guy here, this El Bilal Touré. This is very good as well. Paid 28 million from Almeida. Very, very, very good. And of course, we all wanted to see what's going to happen with this guy, Charles de Catelare.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Where do you think we're gonna end up? I mean, I watched your video on Football Crush.
And I said first.
But have you changed your opinion on that?
Have you heard yourself saying that? That's what he's trying to say. Are you for real?
Yeah.
Believe, look, I tell you,
as you said.
Believe. This is why. Because because as a fan we need to believe. If we as a fan we don't believe that Milan can end up winning the Campionato, I know that realistically then you say, oh, maybe this player, maybe that guy, maybe the other team. But if we as a fan we don't believe that we can achieve and win in the Scudetto, why 11 millionaires that follow a ball, they should believe in it? I think we should really believe in it. And now we have more. We have, as I mentioned, we have probably the best team that we had at least in the last 10 years. Because this year we have quality. We have a mix in between youth and experienced player. We have every single player that we were waiting, that we were missing last year. We have a replacement. So. Of course, we cannot control the injury, but if we, as a fan, we don't believe that we can win it, it's a very Inter things to do to think, oh, we're gonna finish third, oh, we're gonna finish fourth. No, you need to, as a fan, you support the team and you wish that they're gonna finish first. Then, of course, you need to understand that sometimes team is shit and there is nothing to do. Like last year, for example, Napoli was smashing every single one and they deserved the victory 100%. But at least in the beginning, without watching not even a game, I want to believe that we can really fight until the end. That's it. Final answer.
Yeah, true.
I'm a believer,
Yeah.
Eccolo, Yazan, back. The first, I was just reading here. There you go. Boom. Believe in Milan this season. Believe. Let me see.
So what would you consider as a success for Milan? Like, not success, but it's like, okay, this is a season where I would say Pioli is kept for another season. Like, good enough so that Pioli is kept for another season. What's the minimum that you're like, okay, this is what we should do?
Allora, I think the minimum for this season, it is we need to win a trophy. We need to win something this season. This is the minimum that I'm expecting from the Campionato, from the Coppa Italia. It's a big shot call in the Champions League, but as we see in the beginning of last year, if I was telling you that we were playing the semi-final and Inter was playing the final of Champions League, you will be laughing. So I feel like we need to bring home at least a trophy, and has to be a good one, because next year anyway another big player is leaving. We already know that probably either Magnan, Leao, or Hernandez, one of these three guys is going to be leaving. So I think this season we have an extremely a young, solid, experienced team, and I think I want to fight with the Scudetto until the end. I want to I would like finally to get some revenge over Inter, no matter the competition it is. If I see it right on the table of Coppa Italia, there should be, as always, a potential semi-final. So I want to get them there and I want to win them, because last year the semi-final literally made me and all the Rossoneri extremely frustrated. And as you, man, as you know, know that what we died without fighting. So I don't want to see Inter winning the second.
Just died.
Just died.
That's it. That's
died. It. We just show
10 minutes in,
literally,
that's it.
Literally, the match against Inter lasted 5 minutes, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Dzeko scored after 5 minutes. Boom.
I turn on the TV and it's like I'm watching the slow motion of the goal, of the replay that, you know, Calabria of all people is marking Edin Dzeko.
Exactly. So I think this is it. This is my belief. Yeah. I think we have to believe, rather.
Yeah, we do. Like when I say Milan finishing third, that doesn't mean that I'll be surprised if we finish first. It's just there's so many question marks on every team, and I think the club should take advantage of this. You know, like we have a saying here that we have to catch the fish even while the water is muddy. You know, I don't know what the equivalent is in English.
I never heard that before.
you know, like when the sea is muddy, it's like you can't see anything, everything's going on.
Yeah.
And then you take an opportunity and catch, you know, the biggest fish. I don't know if this makes any sense. So right now, everything is muddy. Like there's so much question marks. Roma, you don't expect anything. Like so many question marks over Roma.
Yeah.
Inter, I feel like, you know what I feel like Inter is right now?
What?
I feel like 5 years ago, maybe 4 years, let's say 4 years ago, Inter was an amazing, this beautiful car, like full option, beautiful car, this expensive, massively assembled Bentley. And then you're told that you can't spend on this car. So to run this car, to afford the fuel, to afford anything, you have to sell parts of it. So you start selling, you know, the tire. You start selling the seat. You start selling
I know what you mean,
small bits and pieces. You know, you start selling, you know, the navigation system. You start selling like bits and pieces until there's almost nothing left. And you know, like, okay, after 1 year, it's still a good car. After 2 years, it's still a good car. After 3 years, it's still a good car. But then there's nothing left for you to sell to fund the car moving, you know?
So what are you saying? I don't understand. What are you saying? You're saying that Inter it was running well and now it's not running it. It's selling their pieces? What are you doing? What are you saying?
What I'm saying is there's a limit to what you can do with this approach. You know, eventually you're going to run out of good transfers to sell. You know, eventually you're going to run out of Lukaku's to sell to Chelsea, Onana's to sell to United. Like, what else do you sell? Like, there's not much of this car left to sell, you know? So what else? Like, do you start selling, you know, the core?
The
Barella,
core, yes.
or because once you do that, that's it, you know, like the fans, if they already haven't, they're gonna turn against you already.
It's gonna happen. I think under this aspect, Milan has been very brave to do exactly what you know, what maybe Inter is gonna do next year. They're gonna have to sell at least they'd have to sell at least a big player, you know, to go back on the market and restructure the team. I feel Milan
or sell the club from the owners.
Sell the club, yes. But I feel like Milan, more than everything this year, they how can I say? I feel like Milan that won the Scudetto reach completely, fully the potential of certain player, which is, for example, totally all our right wing, which is Messias, Elemakers, and for central and for certain midfielder. And we need new options as a striker in the front, and Pioli love to have options. And you cannot just buy one player, because as a Milan, which is correct direction that you want to take, which is you want to go in Coppa Italia, you want to go in Campionato, you want to go in Champions League, you want to do the best, but you need options. And last year, what we saw is that our second team, it's useless. Origi, my printer is more useless than Origi. Charles De Ketelaere was a ghost. Rebic, I don't know what's happened to that guy. Maybe he met the wrong girl. I don't know, but it was a completely different player, and we never seen Rebic like this. Rebic lockdown was incredible. Nobody could have keep him. Rebic post lockdown, I don't know. It's an extremely average player. Anyway,
Yeah.
But I'm watching Sassuolo Atalanta, which is still at 0-0. Which I'm expecting to see Charles De Ketelaere, and Roma is actually winning against.
Guess who scored his first goal after a season and one game?
El Shaarawy.
Belotti.
No. Belotti, finally.
Yeah, a whole season and one game.
And one game, there you go. But Roma has an interesting team, man, because remember what we said last year. I remember that we did a similar topic last year. Because last year, Roma, I remember that bought some new players, and the diamond was Dybala. Okay?
Yeah.
Dybala. This season, I don't see they sold.
Well, they bought this free defender from Bundesliga, which also we were chasing. Another player that
they have a good. Let me tell you that nobody is actually pointing the finger at Roma, but they have the same coach since few years. Their team slowly is building up. They constantly access to the European Cups, and now they have Renato Sanchez. What's the other guy named? Paredes, Ndika, Christensen from Leeds. So
Hossam Aouar on free transfer. He's a really good guy.
They actually have an interesting story. They actually have a very good team. Let me see 1 second here. Roma.
By the way, Valentin, that's not the goal that he scored. He scored another one, which also stood this time. He scored one that was disallowed, but then he scored another one, which this time it counted. Yeah.
So this is how Roma plays with Rui Patricio, Smalling, Llorente, and Mancini, which is so they defend with 3 players. Then they have Cristante, Spinazzola, Bove. This guy here that you say is good, Aouar.
Yeah.
Belotti. What?
El Faraone. That's El Shaarawy.
Ma it's Google. Yeah. No. What the fuck? What?
That's El Shaarawy.
It says El Faraone. I don't believe it. Can you Google it and see if you have El Faraone as well?
What did you Google? Roma.
Roma Salernitana.
By the way, anyone that wants to go to Salerno, it's a beautiful city. Highly recommend it.
Fantastic.
Speaking of Salernitana, so you went to images, right? Where did you go?
Go on lineups. So we were scrolling down the page here, and we saw that Roma Salernitana as a striker has Il Faraone, which is the nickname of El Shaarawy. But I don't understand why on Google it shows the nickname instead of the real name. Right?
No, I don't see that. Oh, on Google, like actual Google.
Yeah.
Lineup.
Literally Google. Look, I'm here. It's called El Faraone.
Because I don't get that. I'm not getting that link.
Okay.
Is it Salernitana, Roma, or
Roma Salernitana?
So it's also at Rome.
See, in Rome, yeah. Also because
I'm not getting that link.
Yeah, just They have the interesting team, Roma.
Yeah,
I
they
want to
do.
keep an eye because I think it's in Italian we say è una piazza calda. Piazza calda means it's a literally translation means is a hot square. What does it mean? It's a square where it's
That's
it's a
hot.
city that's hot. So it's a place where people want to see, they have the same enthusiasm as Napoli. Okay, well, so they have Mamma mia, but they have this player here. Roma, let me tell you, if Roma, I remember last year we play against Roma, and I remember that I finished that match, and on video live, I don't remember what we were doing, but I say, man, Mourinho's Roma is literally one of the worst team to play against because they do a million of fault. They are the anti-culture. They are not playing a dynamic football. They're all defending. Then they are very nervous. They complain constantly to the referee. And I can imagine this team with Mourinho and Paredes, I remember last year in Juventus, he was one of the most booked player of Juve.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something. Roma has always been this nice team, right? Like this sexy team, Montella on top, behind them Totti, with Batistuta on top, behind. Like it was always this good football team, nice team, beautiful, but not nasty enough to push it. They pushed Inter that one year. They won the Scudetto in 2001. We remember it because we're old as fuck. But this guy Mourinho came in and turned them into bastards, like absolute bastards. For me, that's you deserve a lot of credit for that. I agree. Turning that ship to a whole new direction, like changing that mentality.
Candreva score 1-1 Salernitana Roma.
Ah, shit. Okay. So much for the Roma hype.
Yeah, so much for the Roma hype. There you go. Boom. Dropped right away.
And it's Candreva,
Candreva ex-Inter. Yes, exactly.
Always playing well against us.
Always. And let me see. So from the midfield, construction. Good pass, and then goes inside the box, dribble one player and score on the second post. Dribbling on Smalling. Smalling goes on the right. Candreva goes on the left. Boom, goal on the far post. 1-1 for a beautiful goal. But Smalling overrated as.
I wouldn't take Smalling in Milan, to be honest. Not even. I feel like anyone that we have, he won't add any value beyond what we have.
Yeah. Look, I have a question for you. I was just watching here. Do you remember also last year that we kept an eye on? I remember after losing against against Spezia. I remember that we were watching this guy here, Nzola. Nzola was playing.
He went to Fiorentina, right?
Went to Fiorentina, exactly. So I'm curious to keep an eye on it.
Yeah. What's his name? Italiano again. He played under him once before.
Yeah, he did already? Okay.
Yeah, at Spezia.
Okay. Look, it's going to be an interesting Campionato because I'm curious to see Fiorentina, Roma, Lazio, because Lazio is always very good under Sarri, and then Napoli, Inter, Juve, and Milan. So I think it's going to be a very, very beautiful Campionato, and I'm happy that Atalanta almost scored. I'm happy that finally we have some good competition because especially last year we saw them in Europe. I was happy to see two Italians in semi-final of Champions League, the Fiorentina. It's good. We don't have the same money as for sure the Premier League. This is slowly I'm linking to the next topic, which is going to be something very, very, very close to you. Very close to you.
Is it the thing that's 1 hour away from me, or is it in time zone? 1 hour
Yes,
to my left.
potentially, yes, to an hour on your left, exactly. So there are a couple of things that I want to ask you. Hang on a
It's
second.
1 hour to my left and 1 hour to your right. It's actually right in the middle of
So
both of us.
let's cut all the introduction and da. What's happened? What's happened with Saudi Arabia just simply buying left and right in Europe, literally like a shopping center? Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, when you go in a shopping center, you need to do some shopping, and you want to buy your things. Beep, beep, beep,
Like
beep,
you have a list, right? Like you have a list. You don't just go and buy the shop itself.
I got it. See, what do you think of
So
that? Why they do that? Why now?
let me tell you a story.
Go ahead.
A friend of mine I recently met, he had an interview with a company in Saudi that had close link to PIF. You know, this is
What's PIF?
the sovereign fund of Saudi
Okay.
government. This is, you know, who is funding all that league.
Oh, wow.
And this is the owner of Newcastle as well, for the record.
Okay.
Potentially funded our, you know, Tonali and potentially our whole Mercato. So yeah.
Okay. Truly. Yeah.
So
that's exactly what's happening.
so he didn't take the job because he didn't want to move to Saudi. He likes it in Dubai. Life is in Dubai is better. But he said during that interview, this is like the interview is taken years ago. They're like, the guy told me that PIF, you know, the plans that they have, it's gonna shit all over Fly Emirates and Emirates Airlines. And Emirates Airlines, they invest a lot in sports. You know, they sponsor us. They started sponsoring us when we were at Pump, you know, like when we had Pato, Gattuso, you know, Inzaghi, Pirlo, like that team. Zlatan, Ronaldinho, that team. They sponsored Arsenal's whole stadium. You know, it's called the Emirates.
The Emirates Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, and the shirt and everything else. They sponsored Real Madrid. They sponsored Hamburg when they were competing for European places.
I think even Lyon. I think Lyon or
Lyon as well.
Yeah, Lyon, yeah.
Even PSG, you know, when UAE and Qatar's relationship was still friendlier, I would say. So Emirates Airlines invests a lot in sports.
In football. Okay.
This guy is like, PIF is gonna make Emirates Airlines, you know, the things that they're gonna do in sports, it's like you won't even see it. And what did they do? They started bringing, you know, WWE. They started bringing, you know, the top fighters in MMA. They started bringing, you know, Supercoppa Italiana in there.
Events. Yeah.
Events.
Big events. Yeah.
They started, I think my camera's, yeah, that's Saudi, by the way. They're blocking me. My camera went off for a bit. So, you know, they started with that, and then they're like, okay, let's buy Newcastle. What's next? Let's, you know, renovate a couple of stadiums. I think a couple of their stadiums they're renovating for, you know, modernization. What's next? You know, let's bring Cristiano. What's next? Bring everyone. What's next? Let's focus on hosting a World Cup in, I think, 2030 is what they're aiming for. And this is not just in sport, you know, like this is, they want to diversify their economy from the oil to tourism to sports to, you know, many other things. And this
because
is just their plans
simply because
economy.
Because they know that in a few years the gas is not going to be there's not going to be more their main income.
That's been their aim, I would say, for a long time, by the way. Yeah, like they've done well to diversify. It just hasn't reached football until like maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, before I think Cristiano Ronaldo was the year zero of Saudi football, and now look at that. Let me read this list of the player that recently just joined the Saudi Pro League, which is of course Cristiano Ronaldo, but then Karim Benzema, Koulibaly, Mendy, Milinkovic-Savic, Brozovic, Firmino, Henderson, San Maxim, Dembélé, Fofana, Telles, Malcolm, Kanté, Neves, Jota, Fabinho, Mahrez.
Oh, Jota as well?
Henry,
Liverpool's Jota?
Sadio Mane, sì, Sadio Mane, Frank
Or is it a different one?
I think it's the same one of Liverpool. Must be.
No, that guy played actually and scored. It's not the same guy.
It's not the same guy?
That guy actually played for Liverpool and scored this year.
I scored? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Neymar,
so different
the
guy.
last one. Mitrovic. That is is the news is from yesterday, so maybe this graphic it's a little bit late, but still like a good was it 20 players? Boom, something like this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And basically what they were doing before, like they're actually quite efficient. People are saying like this is gonna be the new China. It's not really gonna work. I think they have some advantages that the Chinese league didn't have. First of all, it's the time zone. I think them being closer to the middle of the world, you know, it really works well. Like you're not gonna wake up at 4 a.m. to watch an MLS game, right? Or something in China. But this is close to you, right? Like
Very
if
true.
you have nothing to do, you'd love to watch Al Hilal versus
I'll watch it. If there is nothing else on TV, I'll watch it.
Exactly. Like you'd actually turn it on, right?
Yes.
By the way, Al Hilal is they're not just a nobody team. They're actually they have the most Asian Champions Leagues in history.
Yeah.
Like they're like the Real Madrid of so like there's heritage there. So that's number one, the time zone. Number two, the fan base in Saudi is insane. You can't say the same thing on. You cannot say the same thing on China. I actually remember being in China in 2002. Yes, I'm that old. In 2002, during their first ever World Cup, no one was talking about it. No one. Their first and only World Cup. Like, imagine you're playing as a nation, your first ever game against Brazil of all teams. Like, there was no hype.
Literally
Like,
hype.
I was actually there in China. No one was talking about it. No one.
Yeah.
Like, the TV barely talked about it. Like, no one was talking about it. So, the difference is A, the time zone, B, the fan base. Saudi is like football is number one. That's it.
Yes.
Everyone grows up watching, you know, the El Clasico. Everyone watches, you know, Premier League, the Serie A. Everyone watches it. There's a reason why it's been few years that Supercoppa Italiana is being taken there. There's a reason. And also, the local players of Saudi are far better than local players in China. Saudi has made the World Cup consistently for a number of years. If they were not naive, they could have qualified from their group. You know, they beat Argentina. They were just naive against, I think it was Belgium, or I don't know, against Croatia. I don't know who it was against.
No, there was another team that they supposed
to they were outplaying them, but then it was like they were just naive. They just couldn't finish it off. Like the foundations of the local players is there. China, what happened to China? Like
we will see.
Nothing happened. And also they have plans. This is from before. This is in 2018. They actually sent some of the top Saudi young players to La Liga, just so so
Yeah.
these guys have plans. Like this is not like China
Yeah,
saying,
I
"Hey,
also
here's the
I
money."
heard that they want to they have an idea of having this is called the wild card. So whoever is the winner of the Saudi Pro League, he can access to the Champions League.
Yeah,
They are thinking to do, but don't know.
I think it's one of those things that you think it's silly until it happens. That's what it's like. Super League. You think it's silly until it happens.
Yeah. Well, yes. For me,
so
it's,
I thought I would tell this story. Like from the friend of mine that foretold this from years ago. So these guys mean business. These guys really mean business.
Look,
I wouldn't be surprised if the end goal, one of the end goal, is to remove the FFP from Europe, just so that Newcastle can go balls deep. All these European players are like, oh, you have FFP restricting you from paying me? Okay, fuck you. I'll go to Saudi.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're gonna push on, of course. Yeah.
And despite the common thinking, Saudi is a decent place to live. It's a very decent place to live. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new football. It's a new world, man. It's a new world, and of course, whenever we see all these players, they are leaving. Sometimes, for example, the classical example of what's happening is we can clearly see with our beloved old Frank Kessie. With old Frank Kessie, what's happening is
he left as well. Yeah,
he was earning 3.5 in Milan. Milan was he wanted to have 9 million a year. Milan was offering him 6. He said no. He went to Barcelona because he's a hell of a player. He went to Barcelona to play because they were giving him these 9 millions. He played one season on the bench, scored in the Classico, and that's his highlights. He lasted 1 year, and now he went directly to Saudi. You know how much he get in Saudi Arabia? 18. Wow. So in 1 year, pretty much in one solar year, Kessie passed from 3.5 of Milan to 18 in Saudi Arabia.
That's good.
That's business, huh?
That's good business. Yeah, like
that's definitely good business. Yeah.
Like you can't be mad at that.
No.
Honestly, I'd be like, book my plane tomorrow. Like, give me the Uber.
Not even thinking.
Go.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
And
that,
I've never been to Saudi as well, but
if they give me those money,
it's a good country to live from people that I've talked to.
For 18 million euro a year,
I would live in Ghana.
I walk from Barcelona to Saudi Arabia. Don't worry, I'll get there.
Is that why you're training for a 10K?
That's it.
Is that the end goal?
I had a big offer. Let me read some comments before we get too lost into this, because of course we love to talk, but the comments comes and what we were saying here.
Free mind.
I got here. Yeah, if you want to know who's really overrated, PSG without Messi and Neymar is trash. Interesting to see Ranger this one. I'm curious to see PSG this year because I wanted to see if finally, without all the pressure of having Messi and Neymar, you have to win everything. This year they have a solid team, but it's not that super fancy. So maybe this time they don't have any more a fancy team. They actually get down to football and play football. I don't know. We'll see. Free Mind. Nzola is underrated player. Finished top 5 in a goal scoring last season. I like this guy. Nzola is very, very good. Dino says to win the league, we must do the job against the smaller team. Absolutely agree with you, Dino. It's very true. Ranger said that Saudi Pro League and MLS conspire to kill PSG. Okay, right.
Well, Saudi and Qatar don't really get along. Let's just put it this way, politically.
Saudi and Qatar, they don't really get along.
Yeah, Saudi and UAE on one side and Qatar on the other side. So during
really?
the World Cup, it was a big deal.
I didn't know that. I thought
there's
they were all on the same page.
no, Qatar. I don't know what they've done, but UAE and Saudi, they're like, okay, we completely block you economically. Qatar is a small country. Like, if these guys block you, that's it. You're like, you have to think, you have to fend for yourself. I know Qataris who were warned here that were told you have 2 weeks to pack your shit and go back to Qatar. Imagine you have kids at school and,
of course.
you know, house to sell, cars to sell. Suddenly, like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Look, Free Mind says Saudis want to buy the whole sport. Their oil money is getting out of hands. They also want to buy their way into Champions League, which is funny. They should build their own Champions League. Dino say
that's
they
what
already
they're
have.
doing.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, Dino say we have already Asian Cup. MLS works for me since I live in America. Well, yes, exactly.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact: if you guys don't know, Saudi's league is 16 teams. It's not 18 teams. So you know, if you're an older player, it works for you. Also, like when you see the stadiums are very close to what Serie A is. You know, like you have the running track in some of them.
Okay.
You know, it's like there's a bit of old-fashioned in there. You know, if you're a football romantic.
Yeah. And agree about Saudi money. If you're Manchester City, the money allows you to buy anyone you want, hence to keep winning. Yeah. Anyway, look, Mr. Football Drone, it's been an hour, and I have to bring. I tell you what I have to do. I have to bring Puma to a friend because we are going on holiday.
Nice.
Next week.
Where to?
And
definitely not Dubai though.
Sicily.
I hope this weather you can.
Nah, well, we're going to a hotter place, which is Sicily as well. Super hot place. But we can't leave Pumetta here, the triple chin Pumi. We cannot leave it here. So we have to bring her to a friend that is going to help us to look after her.
Put Puma on a diet. You know, that double chin needs to melt.
Triple chin, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, it was good seeing you. Loved seeing all the regulars and some new people.
Always.
Good to see all of you. Thank you to all of you.
Free Mind, Dino, Ranger, who else here we have here? Valentin, Yazan, all Marianne. Of you guys. Marianne, of course. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hey, where's Peter? He missed this one.
Peter, yes.
Yeah, I should have told him that we're doing this.
I think
probably
he's busy this weekend. Did you see that he sent me all this stuff? He's a crazy guy. He sent me all this stuff. Milanistra. Wow. Yeah, he sent me some sticker.
I know that's a Milan club in
Croatia.
Somewhere in Balkans. Croatia, yeah. Juve merda. He probably sent you Inter as well, right? No, I cannot read that.
The Inter merda has to be very big behind me because that's the big one. Anyway, Football Drone, as always, a super
It's good seeing you. Thank you to all of you.
Ciao, guys.
And love to see you hopefully more
Milan.
Frequently.
Forza Milan. Ciao.
Wait.